I came to office determined to strengthen the middle class. When the middle class does well, everybody does well. Because when we invest in our people, when we strengthen the middle class.
President Biden insisting his economic strategy is for the middle class. Kudlow host Larry Kudlow is here with us. But first, Brian, you are breaking down some of the things that are at stake when it comes to economics.
Yeah, that's right. You've heard the old saying, it's the economy, stupid. But in 2024, it's Bidenomics. And there's nothing stupid about voter dissatisfaction. Polls are clear. Americans hated Bidenomics before it had a name, and they hate it now. And that's because the data is clear. Inflation has eaten up paychecks, leaving people with little but debt on their plates. As regulations pile up and interest rates rise, we can't find affordable cars. We can't find affordable houses. And increasingly, we can't pay unaffordable credit card bills. You're not stupid. It's Bidenomics. The president lent his own name to his own economic disaster. Tonight, voters want to hear about a way out of it. That's why we've got Larry Kudlow here with us today. Larry, good to see you. So I want your dream scenario. If we hear just what Larry Kudlow wants to hear on that debate stage on the economy, what's it going to be?
Well, I think you've got to have a very strong, positive economic growth and prosperity message. That's the key, supply side message. There's a great piece in the Wall Street Journal today about what Reagan said, Ronald Reagan said, at the convention in Dallas in 1984. It was his second term speech. So you need a strong, positive message, and you also need to go after Bidenomics two ways. Number one is the affordability issue that you hinted at in your opening. And the second point I want to make is I think that that these candidates ought to be talking about drill, baby, drill, and ending this obsession with climate change and going back to a traditional Republican message, which is all the above. I think drill, baby, drill, which goes into affordability. If you look at oil and gas affecting literally hundreds of items in the consumer price index.
Right.
So that's the affordability hook. It literally permeates the entire economy. And one of the issues here is still to this day with $80 oil and so forth and so on, you still have relatively high prices over the past 2 years that people haven't gotten over with.
How does that translate, though, to a general election?
I think it'll be fabulous, judging from the polls. But look, they have to put their best foot forward in a Republican primary tonight. That's the issue. And to some extent, they're all challenging Donald Trump. Now, you can challenge Trump in two ways. You can trash Trump, which I think would be a huge mistake for candidates. If Chris Christie thinks that's the path, he's wrong. It's the path to perdition, not to nomination. On the other hand, you can come up with similar policies or embellish those policies. Mr. Trump has vulnerabilities. He also has enormous strengths. I mean, he also has a huge lead in the polls. There's nothing they can do about that. But put your best foot forward. Growth, optimism, positive message. Sweep away Bidenomics. Go back to drill, baby, drill. Bring costs down. Make life affordable for the middle class. I don't think this is all that hard. I'll just see how they execute.
Yeah, and it's a hard thing to do, Larry, because when it comes to Bidenomics, I think Biden, obviously, he appealed to the middle class. He appealed to poor people, saying, I'm going to help you. But he did it with stimulus. And if you take that out of the equation, with the inflation that we have and the situation people find themselves in, they realize he actually hurt them. But these are the same people that, for some reason, keep voting for Democrats time and time again. So if you're going to attack Bidenomics tonight, how do you get on that stage and talk to that person and say, hey, voting for Joe Biden again isn't going to help you?
Well, again, this is a Republican primary. Don't forget that. You're not in the general election just yet. But the point is well taken. I like to start with gasoline, okay, because low-income people have a lot of transportation costs. They have to drive to work or get rides to work or pay bus fares to work or pay subways to work. That stuff is all expensive.
Yeah.
And the prices have gone up. And the prices have gone up in the cities, which is, that's all Democratic run. And so there's a revolt going on there. Food prices have gone up. Grocery prices have gone up. So that's where you can appeal to overlapping constituencies. That's where Bidenomics has failed on affordability. Ironically, if I were Joe Biden, I'd be making a better case. I mean, he's got a low unemployment rate, okay?
Right.
So that's a good thing. A lot of people are working. But many of them have to work 2 jobs in order to survive the affordability attack.
Yeah.
And that's got to come out tonight.
Yeah.
But the GOP's got to go back. These guys, drill, baby, drill, okay? That is such an essential message. What is Bidenomics? Bidenomics is this incredible obsession with climate change, and they have not made that sale to people.
Yeah.
They have not made that sale to the middle class. And incidentally, one of the unaffordable things out there is new and used cars.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable prices, monthly payments, interest rates for those cars. But I got to ask you,
by the way, interest rates, another thing that runs right into things that are not affordable. You got a home mortgage now that's running about 7.5%. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a killer.
China's going to be part of the conversation on the economy. Quickly, what do you want to hear on China?
I'd finesse China. Nobody cares about China right
Nobody
now.
cares about China.
People hate China. Republicans hate China. I think most Democrats hate China. I wouldn't mess around with China. I'd stay right home in the U.S. of A. It will be interesting to me to see if anybody is willing to come out against continued financing of the Russian-Ukraine war. I see your friend Putin knocked off his adversary. I don't know what
he was looking at you, Jackie, when he said that. He wasn't looking at me.
I didn't say it.
I just love that.
That's the way they do it over there in Russia. You know what I mean? No ambiguity about it whatsoever.
We won what you gave us, which is above trend GDP growth with below trend inflation, not the stagflation opposite of what we have now.
That's it.
Larry
Kudlow.
Kudlow,
Thank you.
You're the best.
You win, I'll vote for you.
Really appreciate it. Don't forget to watch Kudlow weekdays 4 p.m. Eastern right here on Fox Business.